Alright, welcome back everyone for another video. For you guys who don't know me, I am Chris and this is Christian Mommy Blog. So we are back for another Bible study video, but first I want to wish you guys a happy New Year's. I know I'm a little late, but I didn't get the chance to record earlier this week. I've been working and trying to catch up on just stuff around the house, getting Nick ready for school, going back to school again next week, trying to just get a bunch of stuff done lately. But yes, I do want to wish you guys a happy New Year's. I really hope 2024 is actually a better year than it was in 2023. Not that it wasn't terrible, that terrible for me at least. I did end it on a high note. I did get a decent paying job. I got decent hours. I am giving up a little bit of overtime a week. I have been catching up on my studies. I am in the works of getting Nick onto or being diagnosed for his ADHD and autism. We are still living in an apartment together, me and my old man and my roommate. Things are actually on a kind of a slow escalating path right now. But I do want to tell you there are some things that are going to change throughout the year. So this coming Friday, I'm going to do a New Year resolution goal video, along with hopefully giving you guys a little bit of insight into what's going on with Nick and how things are going with his spectrum of autism, his ADHD diagnosis, all that kind of good stuff, along with giving you guys a real quick rundown of his birth. I know I keep saying I'm going to do certain videos, and I never get around to doing it, but I've already started working on it. I've been working on this one for a while, and if I have to, I will record this video today or tomorrow on my Bible study days and have it ready for Friday. Now, I will tell you, I am starting to relook at my video uploading schedule. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because I'm thinking about pushing my Bible studies one day back to Thursday and Friday and doing my random parent miscellaneous videos on Wednesdays instead. Now, the reason why I'm thinking about doing that is because I've noticed my depression's been pretty bad lately, especially near the end of the week. And I really noticed that's when my depression really hits me, and I just do not want to do anything. But I am most productive when it comes to video-wise on Wednesdays. So if I'm really going to get any kind of parent, miscellaneous, random videos done, it's probably going to be done on a Wednesday. That's probably when it's be best done, and I really need to start trying to focus on those videos a little more as well. Now, the reason why my depression is so bad right now, or the reason why it's kind of just acting up, is because, well, yes, I did get a good paying job, so don't get me wrong there. I did get a good paying job. Okay, I am getting 40 hours. I am getting a little bit actually extra than 40 hours. The problem is before I got this good paying job, I racked up quite a bit of money on my credit cards and my loans, and now I'm having to work to pay that money back. And usually when I get my paycheck, I get a decent paycheck. Okay, I get a really good paycheck, like $1,600 something like that usually. But by the end of the week, like literally a couple hours after I get paid every other week, I'm broke already. I'm down to like less than $50 in my account because I am dumping all my money into these loans, these paychecks, these credit cards, everything, trying to catch back up on my on all these bills. So it feels like I'm making money, but then I'm not at the same time. It feels like I'm not making any kind of progress. So at that point, it's kind of making me down to the dumps because there are things I'm trying to pay off, or things I'm trying to get, or things that I want to do, and I can't do it. Like, I want to get my my Grand Prix. I've been driving the Charger the last couple months now, and I want to get my my Grand Prix, her tags, and her plates back, so that I can drive her. But that's like $200, $300 from DMV to go and get those plates and tags, and I haven't been able to do it because I have no money, because all my money is put into these credit cards, these loans, these debts that I need to pay off. Okay, and it's really taking a toll on me at the end of the week. But at the beginning of the week, I'm all, let's go, and I'm perky and confident and everything. I just want to get closer to the end of the week. I'm not so much, and I've noticed that. And I know I've done a lot of Bible studies lately, and I know Bible studies do perk me up quite a bit because I'm reading God's Word, and so that's kind of why I want to push back my Bible studies to Thursday and Friday, and do my parenting videos on Wednesday, to try and see if maybe that'll help me actually stay on top of those videos instead of neglecting those and just focusing on the Bible studies. Because right now, the way it seems like is my channel is specifically meant towards Bible studies, which they are, but they're not. I didn't want them designed around. I didn't want my channel specifically meant for Bible studies. I want my channel to be designed around Bible studies, parenting videos, anything that has to do with being a parent and a Christian at the same time. Okay, that is what I'm trying to focus on. But right now, I'm not even focusing on the parent aspect of it, and I'm completely neglecting that. Okay, you guys don't even know the complication of Nick's birth, or how he's been doing with his ADHD or autism or any of that, or what it's like to deal with him during the day. You guys have no idea because I haven't been able to record any of that. Or what kind of toys I'm playing with him, or
Stop singing. High five.
high five.
We did. We started playing.
There's my kiddo.
Thanks.
He'll randomly come in, he'll just say high five. No high five. But see what I'm saying? You guys don't know any of that stuff because I haven't been able to do that part because I'm so busy with Bible studies, and then when it comes time to getting each of those done, I never do them. So I am going to put like 15,000 alarms in my phone for this Free Friday to get that video done. And then starting next week, I want to try this one. I want to try this new schedule of me doing parent random videos coming up this on Wednesdays, and then Bible studies, parent videos on Wednesdays, Bible studies on Thursdays and Fridays. I want to try doing it that way and see if I can actually stay on top of my videos that way. My whole entire goal for this year, or one of my main goals for this year, is to get on top of being consistent with my videos. Whether it means if I have to change my schedule 15 times to 1,000 times. My end goal for this year, for 2024, is to get a schedule that works, that I can actually do and posting videos. So I'm going to try Wednesday for parent videos, and I do not until I get to the video this Friday. I have no idea what I'm going to do for next Wednesday. I have no idea. So like I said, I know I'm going to do this coming Friday is a New Year's resolution, giving you guys a real quick update on Nick's birth and his autism, ADHD spectrum, and how that's going, and then giving you guys the video for next week that I'm going to try to. And we'll go from there. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive into today's Bible study video. I think I've droned on announcements enough right now. I'm going into Genesis 22, and then tomorrow is John 21. I'm excited for that one. It is the end of John, and I'm done with the book. I am done with it. And then I'm going to go into Romans, and I've already started reading Romans, and I got this this cool app on my tablet here. Yes, I got a new tablet for Christmas. I got on this app called it's like a Bible app. If I can figure out how to work this stupid tablet. I started this new plan. It's called Romans, where I read Romans in 16 days, and it has a devotional to go with it as well. Am I still recording? Oh, I am. I just couldn't see for a second. Because it has this, it has a devotional to go with it, and then it has the actual book that you're supposed to be reading for that day. And I've started Romans for 16 days. I'm actually excited for that. I'm actually caught up on it so far. So I will be, for 16 weeks, starting next week, I will be doing Romans. And then after that, I'm going to be doing Mark. Just saying. So let's go ahead and get into this, and let's go ahead and read it. So the way I do it on my Bible studies is I read it first, all the way through, and then I will go back and I will read any reflections I have, which I do have a reflection for Genesis 22. See, reflection right here. Okay. Ooh, I'm dropping stuff. So I have a reflection in my Bible for Genesis 22. After that, I will go into the actual notes parts I have for the actual Bible, or for the actual chapter. I mean, not the Bible, but you get what I'm saying. Anyways, all right. So let's go ahead and get into this. All right, the sacrifice of Isaac. It says, after these things, God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he said, here I am. He said, take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and his son Isaac. And he cut the wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went to the place of which God had told him. On the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place from afar. Then Abraham said to his young men, stay here with the donkey. I and the boy will go over there and worship and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son. He took in his hand the fire and the knife. So they both went, both of them together. And Isaac said to his father, Abraham, my father, he said, here I am, my son. He said, behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Abraham said, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son. So they went both of them together. And when they came to the place of which God had told him, Abraham built the altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then Abraham reached out his hand and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. He said, here I am. He said, do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, seeing that you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him was a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the name of this place, the Lord will provide, as it is said to this day, on the mounts of the Lord it shall be provided. And the angel of the Lord called Abraham a second time from heaven and said to him, Bye. By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, because you have done this, and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you, and I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven, and as the sand that is on the seashore. And your offspring shall possess the gates of his enemies, and in your offspring shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned to his young men, and they rose and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham lived at Beersheba. Now after these things, it was told to Abraham, behold, Milcah also has borne children to your brother Nahor. Uz, his firstborn, Buz, his brother, Kemuel, the father of Aram, Chest, his Fildash, Didolf, and Bethuel, father Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nor, Abraham's brother. Moreover, his concubine, whose name was Remuel, bore Tabal, Giham, Taj, and Makkah. I should have just told you to read that yourself, because that was really difficult. Ugh. That was just really. I cannot even say half those names. Alright, but yeah, so there is end of chapter 22. Let's go ahead and get into the reflection written by Joseph P. Murphy called The Sacrifice of Isaac. Alright, so it says, this story of Abraham and Isaac brims with whole Bible significance. It foreshadows God's redemption of the world through the substitutionary death of Jesus Christ, his only Son. And it portrays human reception that redemption by faith resulting in transformation in human relations. But this isn't this really a story of a monstrous God who deals out death to those he supposedly loves? Abraham did ask that question. It is his answer that differs from that of so many who pose it today. First, the God who commanded the sacrifice did not allow Abraham to kill Isaac. The command to sacrifice Isaac was never about Isaac. Rather, it addressed the human fear, rooted in sin and guilt, that instead of loving us, God seeks to do us harm. Yet God seeks our good through a change in us, separating us from our sin. Father and son shared a life together before and after, but this occasion changed them. Second, Abraham answered the question by obeying. This child meant everything to Abraham. God promises, past, present, and future. To truly intend to put the boy to death for God's sake meant death to Abraham, nothing less. Yet Abraham moved toward full obedience, knowing that the Lord would provide for himself the lamb. Fully conscious of God's power to keep his promise, Abraham considered that God was able to even raise Isaac from the dead, from which, figuratively speaking, he did receive him back. And there's a reference to Hebrews 11:19 for that one. To obey, Abraham had to die himself. Trusting that God was truly good, just, and all-powerful was the key. Despite lacking any understanding of what exactly God was doing, Abraham obeyed, and not with the intent to do evil, but in confidence that God would do good, and God did. Isaac was changed because as the horror of the event became clear to him, he had to realize that God was his true father and be trusted over Abraham. Yet God had provided the sacrifice, and it meant nothing less than life for Isaac. Family life is transformed through this event. God is to be trusted above all others. Social relations with God and the humans were put in right proportion for both father and son. Love God first and foremost, and then love all others. I like that. I couldn't have said it better. Alright, anyways, so let's go get ahead into the actual the notes I kind of took for this. I took quite a bit, not as much as I do and some of the other ones, but I did do quite a bit. Alright, so at the very beginning of it, God said God tested Abraham. Okay, and as it mentioned in the reflection here, it was not a test of anything else. It was just a test of faith, whether or not he would actually listen. Okay, it was not a test of whether or not he would actually kill Isaac. It was not a test of whether or not he was going to just give up everything, his life, what he was a test of faith, whether or not he feared God. Okay, and so he said to him, Abraham, take your son, your only son, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah and sacrifice him as a burnt offering. Okay, so when he was meaning offer him as a burnt offering, first off, is not referring to burning alive. It was simply meaning that Isaac would be killed first and then burnt. Okay, he's not cruel. Okay, he's not going to go having Abraham burn his son alive. Okay, he's going to just have him kill his son and then have him burn the body as a sacrifice. Okay, now I want to point out how many times it says, "Here I am." Okay, so this is example of how everyone of faith should answer. It means ready to be taught, to obey, to surrender, to receive, to anything. It says that throughout the entire chapter. Like here it says, "Here I am, take your son." Then Abraham, with Abraham as well, he says, "My father, here I am." Same thing with when it came to the actual later on, and the angel talked to him. He says, angel says, "Abraham, Abraham," and he says, "Here I am." So on and so on and so on. Okay, it is strictly meant to be saying that this is how you should be addressing God. How you should be telling, "Hey, I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to obey. I'm ready to Okay. And multiple times throughout things, he is saying, "Take your son, your only son." Okay, and because he's trying to emphasize the fact, hey, he knows Isaac is his only son. Okay. And at this point, chapter 22 right here, the very second verse there, when it says, "Whom you love," it is the very first time love is used in the book, so in the Bible so far, from Genesis 1 up until now. Okay, so he tells him, "Hey, take your son and you go burn your son as an offering." And then he says, Abraham rose early, so obviously there's no hesitation. He's not hesitating whatsoever in obeying what God told him to do. He sat on his donkey, took two young men with him, grabbed his son Isaac, and they go up to the place where he's told to go. Okay, and then he says to him, saying, "Stay here with the donkey. I and the boy will go over there and worship, and come again to you." Okay, now that's also the very first time worship is used in the book, in the Bible. I mean, from Genesis up until now. So he trusted and obeyed God. He just did that, and then he takes the wood, and he burnt offering, and he lays it on his son Isaac, and they start climbing up the mountain. And it says he took in his hand the fire and the knife. So obviously, I was expecting him to come in here, so hello. Nope. Alright, so obviously he's doing this willingly.
What's down?
Hi. Okay, go close the door though. Okay? It's fine if you want to sit down with me.
Oh no.
Go close the door, please, if you want to sit in here with me.
Here. What's down? Hey.
So I guess he wants to sit in here with me.
Oh.
Anyways, so they both went. Okay, and Isaac is doing this willingly because it says that he's doing both of this with them. So they both went together. Okay. And Isaac's saying to his father, and he's asking him again. His father says, "Here I am." He says, "Behold the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for the burnt offering?" Okay. And he's kind of questioning, like, where is this burnt offering? Okay. And Abraham says, "God provides for himself the lamb for offering, my son." And that is because Abraham is trusting that God would provide. He has some kind of plan. He's got some kind of plan as to why he's doing what he's doing, and so on. Okay.
Mom, look. It's that. Look here.
Okay. If you're gonna be in here, you gotta have your voice lowered. Okay.
Hey, Mom.
Okay.
This one.
Anyways, so Abraham goes to the top of the mountain. He builds an altar. He lays down the wood in order, and he binds his son Isaac. Now, in complete faith from Isaac, Isaac submitted to his father perfectly. He allowed him to bind his son and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. And then Abraham reached out his hand and took the knife to kill his son.
Is that keys?
Now, he was completely willing to kill his son.
What's that? What's that? Keys?
But the angel of the Lord came to him. He said to Abraham, "Do not kill your son.
Oh no.
Don't do it."
Mom, fat. She's got wings.
I know.
We need to put down first. That's key.
He was trying to grab something from. Anyways, continuing. Say hi real quick.
Hi.
Okay. We'll be going to the park in just a moment, okay?
Okay.
Alright, so he says, "Do not lay your hand on the boy or anything on him or to him, or don't hurt him." He's like, "Now I know that you fear God, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me." And again, he's emphasizing your only son, because at this point, they do not recognize Ishmael as being his son, even though he is. He is being provided another way, but Ishmael is not technically his son, even though biologically he is. So at this point, he's not recognizing Ishmael as his son. He is only recognizing Isaac as his son, and Isaac is his only son. And even still, Abraham did not withhold him from being killed because he was told to. Alright, so God had made it clear that he was not like the pagan king or the pagan gods, and he didn't want a human sacrifice. Okay, so he made it very clear. It says, "Do not kill your son," and he didn't. Where is it? Oh, it says, "Yeah, would not hold your boy." Okay, and then Abraham went, and he was given a ram to kill instead of his son. Okay. So he didn't call off the sacrifice. Can you stop, please?
Here you go. That's for you. That's yours. Behind you.
Sit down.
Behind you.
So he didn't call off the sacrifice. First off, okay. But instead he gave him a substitute. So he gave him a ram to kill instead of his son. So again, he didn't call off the sacrifice. He just didn't want a human sacrifice. So he's not like the pagan kings, the pagan gods, all of them who kind of at that point required a human sacrifice. So he said, Abraham called it "the Lord will provide." Okay, that's literally the name. The Lord will provide. And it is said, "On this day, on the mount, the Lord it shall be provided." Now, hypothetically, and a lot of people believe what it says, the angel of the Lord called Abraham, they're thinking of meaning Jesus the Messiah. Okay, and he said to him, "By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son," once again saying only son, "I will surely bless you, and I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven and as the sand that is on the seashore." So, for trusting God, for trusting that he was going to protect him, that he's going to provide, that he was going to either bring his son back from the dead, he is saying that he is now going to emphasize or kind of magnify the gift, the promise that he had made before, that he was going to, previously he said that he was going to make something of his son, that he was going to bless his son, Isaac. And now it basically went from 10 to the 20th power, basically, that he is now emphasizing and really boosting that kind of gift, that promise that he was going to make on his son Isaac. Okay, and it says, and your offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies. And he's basically saying, hey, this is the promise to bring forth the Messiah. That line alone, your offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies, is prophet. That is basically foretelling to, that is a promise to the actual Messiah coming. That his line will come from the Messiah. It says, and your offspring shall all the nations there be blessed because you have obeyed my voice. So at this point, he was really sure that God would have him kill Isaac. He was pretty sure that God would raise him from the dead, and yet he still provided. He still kept his word on not actually killing Isaac, and he gave him what he was asking for, in a sense. He didn't withhold his son. And in a sense, he did kind of bring back Isaac from the dead in some kind of sense, metaphorical sense, though, which is what the reflection is basically talking about. So every command that God has done so far, every phrase was like a knife. So it said, take your son. Take your only son Isaac, whom you love, offer him there as a burnt offering, and yet he is blessing his son now because he actually listened. So Isaac's life and Jesus' life kind of really mimic each other, as it just said too in the reflection, and how I'm just lost my train of thought. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Where it says because Isaac's, can you please stop? Alright, I had to take a moment. I was really losing my train of thought. Either way, I'm trying to explain that Isaac's life and Isaac's life and Jesus' life kind of mirror each other, as I previously mentioned in my last Bible study. They both had a miracle birth. They both had this kind of death in Isaac's sense. It was not an actual death, but it was a mere mimicking of death. Go away. There you go. And as their life continues on, it just, I'll do a whole video of this, okay? It'll make sense when I put it all together. Man, it's just not making any sense to me at the moment, because I just... Anyways, so we go on into the next part where it's talking about Nahor, which is Abraham's brother. And I would just mainly want to emphasize the fact that there's a bunch of people I can't pronounce their names in this. I mainly want to focus on one key thing here. When it says Bethuel, he fathered Rebecca. And the reason why I want to focus on that is because Rebecca becomes Isaac's wife. No. And then when it says these 8 Milcite bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother, moreover his concubine. That is the very first time that concubines are used. Shh. Alright. And that is the entire chapter. Okay, like I am really sorry for the last confusion back at the end of it. I will explain a little more in a separate video on how Isaac's life and Jesus' life are actually kind of mirrored in a sense, and how he represents Jesus in the future. I was trying to explain it here, but it just didn't go the way I was hoping to. And Nick is getting really impatient and wanting to go out and play in the park. it's a little much right now. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Like I said, the very ending of this chapter, there's not a whole lot to it, except for, like I said, the fact is that Rebecca is now born in a sense, and she eventually becomes his wife. Alright, the next chapter, chapter 23, it is relatively short. It is only about Sarah's death and her burial. So at like 120 years old, 125 I think it was, Sarah actually finally dies and she's buried, and that's sad. Abraham is still alive, obviously. That guy is ancient. But after that, it goes into Isaac and Rebecca, and that one, I can tell you right now, it is a long chapter. So I'm probably going to have to break that into 2 parts. So what I might do is, next week is chapter 23 for Genesis. The week after that is chapter 24. I might actually have to put Romans on hold for a little bit and do Genesis part 1, or Genesis 24 part 1, Genesis 24 part 2, because there is 67 verses in that chapter, and it is a lot. It is really packed. So I will have to really try and figure out whether or not I can do it in 1 video or if I can do it in 2 videos. But there's a chance it might be in 2 videos. So keep that in mind. Anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. I really hope you guys had a good New Year's. I hope you guys continue having a good week in general. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the very last chapter of John. Alright, you want to say bye?
Bye. Sarah T. Bye.
Bye, guys.